had the opportunity of flying on a rather Pacific flight aboard one of these planes a few weeks ago. Beautiful weather, flew over Nassau, never saw a more beautiful sight in my life. But the thing of most immediate interest was not outside the plane at that time, it was inside the plane. The incredible array of technical equipment which the Department of Commerce Weather Bureau has installed there. I understand that they are actually receiving data in such quantities that it's almost impossible for the human mind to conceive of it, and this has to be sifted out at a later date by all types of computers and calculators.
That is correct. It takes pictures of the photo panels, which of course show what the plane is experiencing. It will take pictures of this on the average, perhaps, that is if we want it that often, of 1 every 5 seconds. It places this on a magnetic tape, and we can bring back literally thousands of observations on just one spool of tape. And then when we're ready, we can take this, put it through a computing machine, and it can give us all sorts of data. And also at the same time, these electronic machines can engage in computations, say in 5 minutes, do what it would take 10 people perhaps a year to do.
But even so, the mass of data is so great, isn't it, sir, that it's probably going to take many months and perhaps many years to really sift out probably all the data even accumulated from this one hurricane.
That is correct, and of course these data will be supplied university research meteorologists such as Dr. Reel, whom
yes.
you met over at the office, formerly with the University of Chicago. In fact, I guess still associated with the university, but currently also doing some work out in Colorado. And scientists at Florida State University, and at Woods Hole, Massachusetts, and New York University, and others, who are all working on this hurricane problem, one joint effort to give steadily improving service. But while these planes also provide us with operational information, don't forget also that it is the Navy and the Air Force with their hurricane hunters, which are
yes.
still continuing to track these storms day and night and provide us with basic operating information. And also, the Air Force planes stationed at Bermuda are equipped with pods which are attached to the plane, which contain instrumentation, which are also gathering data for research. And then, of course, the radar data gathered by the Navy hurricane hunters are also being used in research.
And, of course, the radar installation at the Miami Weather Bureau as well. Now, that is a monster of a radar installation. That is one of the largest in the country, is it not?
Yes. We believe that this WSR-57, which, of course, we have them now located at points from, Wilmington, Charleston, Daytona Beach, Miami, Key West. There'll be one shortly in Tampa. Also at stations along the Gulf, is the best land-based modern weather radar so far developed.
I think we can prove that right now. Johnny, if you want to come in, and I'll try my best to hold this picture. These are rather precious photographs. These are radar pictures of Hurricane Donna. Now, the one you're looking at right now was taken about 7:30 in the morning, and was just about the time that the hurricane was at its very closest to Miami, about 70 miles. Isn't that right, Gordon?
Yes, that's right.
Go ahead and tell the people, sir, if you will, and perhaps you can look at the monitor off and on as you are watching me to make sure we're not covering up anything here, and explain just exactly how this should be interpreted, at least for a layman.
Now, this black center, this donut hole, it looks like the hole in the donut, is the eye of the hurricane. At times during the hurricane, we could see the Navy research, the Navy Hurricane Hunter plane in the center, going around and around and recording data for us. This is the wall cloud around the center, that thick white area around. It is under that wall cloud, which on the average is about 15 miles wide, that the strongest winds in the hurricane occur. And at this time, in that small area, winds probably up to 150 miles an hour were occurring. And then you see these spiral bands extending into the center, one here, one here, one here, and you can see them quite plainly. They're the areas of strongest winds and heaviest rain. Perhaps you noted, if you looked out frequently, that the rain would come in bursts. Very heavy rain, very strong winds, then the rains would subside a little bit. And then after a while, you'd get another burst of rain. Well, that was one of these bands passing over. Now, Miami was centered right in here, and you can see one of these large, wide rain bands over it. Now, this was taken at 7 o'clock in the morning, and all of you will recall, especially those who might have been outside or looking outside, of the torrential, squally rain that was occurring. Well, that was this rain band working up and around and over Miami.
We have a picture taken just around 12 noon Saturday. Let me hold this so the glare doesn't get too bad if I can find a way to do it. That way is fine. This was taken when the storm center was right over the city of Naples. So show the storm center, sir, if you will.
Again, this spot right in here, the hole in the donut.
The hole in the donut was right over Naples at that time. This is on a different scale from the previous picture. You can see the spirals are expanded considerably in size.
I believe that this is what we call a 20-mile scale. Now, you may or may not be able to see these circular lines. Those are range markers, and they're 20 miles apart. There's one other thing that I might mention. You'll notice these echoes out here. They're harder and more definite than the spiral bands around the hurricane. These are what we call precursory squall lines, and we got one at Miami, I believe, about 7 o'clock in the morning, 24 hours or more earlier than this. In other words, a short, brief burst of rain, and I believe that the winds got up to about 52 miles an hour, just very briefly, in this first precursory line, and then dropped back to about 20 miles an hour for a number of hours.
Well, thank you very much, Gordon. That covers that beautifully. Let's get back to Wayne Ferris right now.
Thank you, Bill, and Gordon Dunn. Pardon me. I found it most interesting, and I'm sure our viewers did too. I'd been looking forward to that segment for a long time.